Welcome back to the Docket Dodgers.
How's it going? Go ahead. It's Wade.
It's Wade.
It's Matt Hager. How you guys doing? Glad to be back. We're live here on the Tube, live here on the TikTok. And guys, I think we got another good show for everybody, Wade.
I hope so.
Yeah, that's our goal.
And
if we still do it wrong, give us a like anyways. Feel sorry for us.
Yeah. Today, we're going to talk about some sports and then get into some local Kentucky drama again. And finally, we have a federal pacer system went down, which I think is huge news. All those confidential informants are better be looking to move. First thing we're going to talk about, though, is the little local football team, WVU. They're suing the NCAA over eligibility of some of their supposed to be contributing players this season.
Yeah, and I understand this. The NCAA got really lax after the House lawsuit on the way that they were doing business, talking about players' ability to make money, talking about their, transferring. And now it seems like they want to scale back some. And I think this is what this lawsuit comes out of.
Yes, it is. The NCAA wants to say what your eligibility is when it applies to the JUCO level. So the NCAA and JUCO are not together.
No. And I've heard before that they were trying to make it where the years that you play in JUCO would not count towards NCAA eligibility.
Well, that's what these players were thinking, and that's what they agreed to come to WVU and compete and move their whole lives around, not enter the NFL draft. Right. It was based on that previous ruling.
Yeah. And I think now that they're trying to scale back, and I think one of the ways that West Virginia and some of these other teams are trying to put the pressure on the NCAA is by filing this federal lawsuit that they have filed. And what have they filed, Wade?
They have said in West Virginia, Northern District of West Virginia Federal Court, the players are Jamori Robinson, Jeffrey Weimer Edwards, and Justin Harrington. So the complaint here says they want to seek an injunction.
Oh, so this is the injunction over eligibility.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what they want to do. They want to say the NCAA can't enforce these arbitrary and capricious decisions, breaching contracts with its member institutes and preventing them from participating in college sports.
Wow. We'll fix TikTok here for a second. We've got a lot of people joining, and I want to be able to see Wade.
Yeah.
Guys, can you hear us okay? Let me know if you can hear us.
Hello, TikTok. So the deal is the last time the NCAA was sued by West Virginia believed they were going to win, and the NCAA caved and gave blanket eligibility to all players in the country. If you remember the COVID rules.
Yeah, well, the COVID really changed things up, and I think this is like where a lot of this stuff is coming from. And I think it was a good way for an excuse to let some of this, leniency about athletics and academics go on. And now everybody's got used to it now. And now, so everybody wants to still play by those rules.
Yeah, that's the legal theory they're going under is promissory estoppel. They agreed to do certain things and they expected certain performance.
Right. See, well, I guess when you come to promissory estoppel, you'll start thinking about reliance. They relied on these rules and these regulations that the NCAA had the time before, and they expected that's what that was going to be this time. So you had a lot of teams a lot of these players that were going to go into the NBA draft or NFL draft, and they decided not to do it because they thought they were going to get another year of eligibility, and now it's taken away from them.
Well, what they're bringing this under is a antitrust action from Section 1 of the Sherman Act. If you know anything about the Sherman Act.
It's like an 1880s case, the Sherman Act.
Yeah.
Monopolies.
So it's saying they can't have a monopoly. And if you know anything about college sports, the NCAA has a monopoly. And they were allowed to for so long because it wasn't for pay.
Right.
So they were operating under this nonprofit. They weren't influenced, but now it's all pay for play, basically. Like these players are paid to compete at the schools.
And so now the NCAA has a monopoly on their ability to make money.
And they make rules.
And make the rules. And there's really nowhere else to go because they had the market cornered in the media, and they had the market cornered and the athletics that the places that can afford to play these players. So they definitely had the monopoly.
Absolutely. And this really comes from the players' ability to have eligibility because they competed at the JUCO level, and they're saying, some players aren't ready for college, that they're not academically or social, like maybe something family can't, and they have to stay and compete at a smaller level. That level's not a part of the NCAA, and the NCAA shouldn't be allowed to regulate that.
Right. Well, I know the NCAA has some sort of rule that you've got 5 years to compete in 4.
Yeah, so you can do a red shirt. So you got 5 years to get 4, but then you have waivers for injury. So if you tore your ACL and you're out for a year or so, you can get an injury year. And then once COVID came along, people were getting these COVID years, so they could stack up injury years, COVID years, and then next thing you know, there's a bald power forward playing against your school
with their grandson and getting ready to go to college.
That's right.
Well, here's my thing about it, Wade, and I don't know if you agree with this or not, but I'm all for transferring. I know a lot of people, it's a really big hot topic issue about transfers, and I know a lot of people say, well, college is for academics. They're there to get an education, but really what you get an education for is to get money. And so these players, they train their whole life to get to this point. I mean, as a dad that raised an athlete that is at a mid-major NCAA school, to even get to that mid-major NCAA school, there was a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of effort that went into this. And now, I mean, like places like WVU, Kentucky, Tennessee, Florida, all these bigger schools, they are making tons of money off these athletes.
Oh, the deals that they make with the TV agreements alone are outstanding.
And the whole thing about college is that you want people to be successful. And I think that you're letting them be successful. You're letting them transfer. You're letting them be eligible. College is a way to better yourself. And I think that, I mean, they are getting life-changing money, and their lives are changing forever now that they get a part of the pie that these big institutions have got for hundreds of years.
Yeah. And, some people are saying, I don't want to see a 30-year-old be playing college sports.
I don't think you'll have that.
Well, I think you'll have it every now and again. You'll have that former baseball pitcher who it didn't work out and he wants to give college a
he's the quarterback.
Yeah, the Brandon Whedons of the world. Yeah. That's actually a big deal that they're looking. I guess this is an immigration issue, but ICE has been looking at a lot of punters in college football because
of soccer.
They're Australian. A lot of them are Australian, and they might have been lying about some paperwork. So some of the background on some of the WU players. Harrington played at Bakersfield Community College for 2 years before going to Oklahoma in 2020, and that was COVID. So that was a COVID year. 2021, he redshirted. So then he played at Oklahoma in 22. 23, he played but was injured. And then last year, he played at Washington. So you can see how it gets complicated, and then people build up a half a decade in college.
Yeah, but here's my thing with kids being able to transfer. And this happened all the time before you were, you used to be able to transfer, and then you had to sit out one academic year. But I mean, you get a lot of times that you have coaches that overpromise these kids, and now they're in a situation, and they're in a bad situation. And if they transfer, they got to sit out, and it kind of ruins their career in a way.
And these coaches, when they leave for another school, they don't have to sit out.
No, they don't have to sit out. So I don't know how it's fair. Like I said, I want people to succeed, and I think that people succeed by having their ability to be able to move from school to school, keep their eligibility, and not hinder their ability to make money, because these NCAA institutions are making millions off these kids.
So you support a free market in college football?
I support free market around the world.
Well, have you heard that Trump wants to limit some of the deals that these athletes are making?
And that's kind of shocking to me, because I always thought that
free market.
He was capitalist.
I thought he was too. Capitalist means you make as much money as you can. Whoever pays you pays you.
Yeah. And they want to keep making this about education. Well, they're here to get an education. And well, that's the way that's what the institutions want to say. Of course, that's what they want to push, the narrative they want to push. They want to keep the money for themselves.
Yeah, that's why they pushed it for half 100 years there.
But the whole point of an education is your ability to earn a living.
To better yourself. And, just because a person's in college for a while, because, they blew out their knee, they might not be able to walk again for the rest of give them the ability to at least try.
I can't remember the name of the player, but I think he played for WVU. And this has been several years ago, maybe 10, 11 years ago. He was dribbling down the court. He was not a high draft pick, but he was someone potentially that could have went second round. And he was dribbling down the court, and all of a sudden his finger just snapped.
Oh.
And I mean, look, and then, in college at that time, you didn't make any money.
Mm-mm.
And so, and now, when you can't come back from that. I mean, not to be the athlete that you were. And so he missed out. I mean, this kid probably grew up his whole life preparing to get to the NBA. And then something like that happens, and it destroys his ability to earn a living.
Who I think of when that scenario comes up is Deshaun Butler. He was a forward at WVU. When we beat Kentucky in that upset. We were playing Duke, and he really messed up his knee. He was a first-round pick in the NBA.
Yeah.
That's generational money. And then gets nothing. Doesn't get drafted. The career, because they weren't paying athletes then.
Right.
And it's tough.
So I'm all for this. Is this the lawsuit about the Sherman Act, or is this the lawsuit about the temporary injunction for promissory estoppel? All together in one thing. Also, they're going to put the heat on.
Yeah,
they're putting the pressure on.
That's how they got the eligibility the last time, was bringing up the antitrust stuff, and the NCAA didn't want to go before the Supreme Court and argue it.
So what's the over under on buckling?
They've lost a lot of their power.
It's not been a good round in the federal court for the NCAA.
No, it hasn't.
It's not been a good 5 years.
I think they should just take what they can get and just hope to exist. What does the NCAA do for these players?
Nothing.
What do they do for the fans?
Nothing.
If you think of college basketball, who picks the people to go in? That was a controversy last year. It's a controversy every year.
I thought West Virginia made it last year, did they?
They didn't.
Yeah.
They had a better record than some of the teams that did. But
they should be filing lawsuits against the NCAA. That'll show them.
Well, I think we're going to win. And
hey, guys, if you all can hear us on TikTok, please leave a message. I don't know if the roadcaster's coming through, but if you guys can hear us, let us know you can hear us. Thank you.
Same deal for the other players before we move on. They just stayed at a community college for a year or two, then had an injury year, and they've all joined together. Next thing we have is sports related as well. This one, more to do with this Sherman Antitrust. Are these corporations too big? The NFL and ESPN just came to an agreement where all of the NFL media properties will be available through Disney and ESPN, and NFL will take a 10% stake in ESPN via Disney. And that means now the NFL will have direct connection money making from sports betting.
Yeah, ESPN Bet.
ESPN Bet.
Yeah.
ESPN Bet. I believe they bought it from Barstool back in the day before they changed the name, but it is absolutely huge. There's a casino up from Morgantown that we go to often, and they have an ESPN bar in there. And now the NFL is going to be part owner of that. So
are we back on the live stream on the tube? Are we on? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think that's right, because I mean, if you have it just dilutes the trust. It dilutes the trust in the game. It dilutes the trust because NFL now has a direct benefit from sports betting.
Yeah, absolutely they do. And people that loot, like we were talking about that Queen's Anne statute last week or so, and this is more of that. People can just say they're fixing the games.
Right.
I want my money back. I'm going to pull up the page here, the Athletic article on it.
And then the DOJ is supposed to be investigating that.
Mm-hmm. And you got to think of, we were talking about Paramount CBS merger, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's not going so well for them because of the political background of who's running these agencies and who approves these deals.
Mm-hmm.
The NFL, I don't know if you remember, but Trump always wanted an NFL team.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he tried really hard to get an NFL team back in the day.
Was he trying to get a New York team?
It was something to do with like the XFL and all that.
No, Trump was involved. Well, his buddy Vince McMahon was XFL.
He was.
Mm-hmm.
So, man, I bet he would love to own an NFL team.
He would.
And if you need a push this deal through, that might be a way to do it.
You know, and another concern about the NFL ESPN deal is that, you know, ESPN is one of the biggest media people when it comes to sports media. And now you're going to think about the oversight that, you know, the journalistic independence that ESPN will actually have when it comes to the NFL, because now they benefit from each other.
Oh, yeah. So if you have some insider information, you're going to put out a big story. Maybe that story needs to not come out today. Maybe that story needs to come out tomorrow.
Right.
And that might just be how it's done now. But they say the Bob Iger, owner of Disney, right?
Mm-hmm.
CEO, whatever. He says that they're going to have journalistic independence.
I don't know. I got my own opinions about Bob Iger.
Yeah.
I mean, he let Kathleen Kennedy destroy Star Wars, and I just don't forgive him for it.
Mm-hmm.
And he won't fire her. I don't know if you watch Star Wars, Wade, but I'm a big Star Wars guy, and I think that Disney has killed Star Wars.
Well, that's what a lot of hardcore sports fans say about ESPN, that it's not what it used to be.
Yeah, well.
But the agreement will send NFL Network, Red Zone, and NFL Fantasy over to the ESPN. And people are upset about Red Zone because Red Zone is commercial free.
Oh, it's not going to be now. And
Disney's not known for commercial free.
And I'm not a big NFL guy, but Red Zone, I think that I know what Red Zone is where they go like snapshots from around the league while games are going on, and you get to see the most critical downs in the game.
Yeah, every touchdown, every big play, they're switching in between it. And it's supposed to be no breaks at all Sunday. I think the fans will riot if they change that. But the deals went through. Now they're just waiting on the Department of Justice to investigate, and they say that could take maybe up to a year or more because it's such a big switch.
I don't know what there is to investigate. I mean, on its face, I don't see that it's. Well, I mean, how much say does the DOJ have in whether the NFL fixes their games or not?
I have no idea. It would have to be about
that. Seems like it's criminal.
I would say it's fraudulent, but can you prove that anyone ever fixes a game?
No,
it's impossible to prove. But you remember when Tom Brady was like suspended for so many weeks for Deflategate?
Mm-hmm.
So imagine we have a Deflategate now, and how many people are going to say it's just because they wanted to switch who won or who didn't win?
I would just think about how much liability this opened ESPN and NFL up to. I mean, think about someone that gets a bad bet and then they get wind of that the fix may have been in. Think about all the civil liabilities. I just don't think it's a good deal all the way around.
They said the same thing when they allowed beer sales. So
what do you mean beer sales? What happened?
Well, they say you can't allow beer sales in these college stadiums because it'd be too violent. People will get hurt and too much liability.
I thought this was America.
Hey, then why can I not own a football league and a gambling agency?
So I guess the DOJ is investigating any type of antitrust issues.
Yes. Yeah, they're showing all the antitrust. If there's any conflicts, if they have too much of a monopoly on sports media.
Mm-hmm.
And when you think of sports media, who are your big players?
ESPN. Well, I would say ABC Sports, but they're a part of ESPN.
Mm-hmm.
And FSN, CBS Sports. That's about. I mean,
that's all. That's all Disney, right?
Fox Sports. But I know if you're looking for something, you go to ESPN though. I mean, that's just everyone's go-to is ESPN.
They've reached a thing with the UFC too, so that's where you watch the UFC. I think they've recently became the exclusive pay-per-view provider of WWE. People hated their acquisition of the NBA, like Charles and Shaq and those guys,
right?
The NBA show. So they have everything right now.
You have TBS. I forgot about TBS.
Yeah. Turner Broadcasting has a lot, but they sold. They lost. Yeah. They lost the NBA.
Yeah, that's over. Yeah.
So are they really competing? I don't know where hockey is, and nor do I care. So, but the people at ESPN are happy about it. So 80% is owned by a subsidiary of Disney, which is ABC. 20% owned by Hearst, an early investor in ESPN. It would be an equity split of 72% for Disney, 18% for Hearst, and 10% for the NFL.
Oh, wow. I just think there's just too much going on there.
There is. There definitely is. Because people complained about cable packages with bundling. They were getting out of control. There was and now we're back to that. The streaming gave people the ideal of choice, but it's gone now. Everyone owns everything.
Okay, what we got next?
Well, next is the federal PACER system has been hacked.
Someone needed to hack the federal PACER system.
Did they?
I'm here to say that is the most 1995 website I have ever seen in my life is the PACER website.
I don't have a password, so I don't know what's going on.
I mean, it looks like Al Gore invented it.
Well, he invented a lot of good things, right? Global warming.
I don't know if anybody out there is like too young to remember GeoCities and GeoPages that used to make free websites off of. That's what PACER reminds me of.
Well, it's free now. You have to pay like Squarespace to have a website.
Yeah. Well, PACER is not free. As much as they charge for PACER, you would think that they would have the most state of art technology. PACER is used. All federal courts use PACER, and how many users do you think PACER has that use PACER?
Oh, that would be tens of thousands.
Tens of thousands, and I mean, PACER is not cheap.
West Virginia, the Supreme Court, they tried to get PACER. They wanted to buy it, but it's not. It's just government owned. They wouldn't sell how to do it, and then we got our own filing system.
Yeah, it's ePass. ePass is a lot better than PACER. I'm here to tell you, it's a lot better. I mean, like the GUI, the graphical interface is a whole lot better than PACER. PACER's practical and easy to use, but it's just not up to date.
Well, it says the electronic case filing system used by federal judiciaries has been breached in a sweeping cyber intrusion believed to have exposed sensitive court data across multiple U.S. states. It's compromised the identities of confidential informants involved in criminal cases in multiple federal district courts. 2 people, both whom were granted anonymity because they were not authorized to speak publicly about the hack. That seems like a bad thing.
It seems like a very bad thing, and especially when you're losing anonymity for your confidential informants. I don't know if there's any type of witness protection things on there, but are they saying if it's another country? Didn't they know it's a?
That's what they believe. They believe it was a state actor, so another country did this.
You're thinking of something that can have potentially blackmail ramifications.
I would say so, because U.S. courts don't deal with just U.S. citizens. I'm sure there's a lot of multinational corporations that have been involved in U.S. lawsuits, and maybe this gives us some trade secrets or information that they didn't want out.
All right. Do they suspect anyone? Do they know?
Foreign hackers or criminals.
It's very crack investigative work there.
I know.
I'm going to fix this TikTok so that they can see us better. We're not recording on the Rodecaster, so I'm going to switch it. Hang on, guys. Be right back.
It says the hack only happened in a couple of states, which the 8th Circuit. No, it says Federal judges in the Eighth Circuit were briefed on the hack at a judicial conference last week in Kansas City. This seems like an issue. Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh was there, but didn't address the breach. Nice. It's hard for me to see the TikTok comments. But they say they're going to do additional security measures to protect its electronic case filing system in response to it. I don't know what that means. I would assume that would cause. I think you're calling the police right now.
We're back, baby. Hang on.
You squeezed it too hard. I thought you were dying. You think there's going to be anything come from this? Any hits take place?
So,
or
what I hope comes from it is that we make Pacer a little bit more up to date. That's probably not a big deal.
Well, maybe the good people at Apple can do it. They just started making all their glass in Kentucky. You recently told me that. I really like that. I think it's important to make glass in Kentucky. You know, West Virginia was the center of all glass making before it went overseas. Every marble, like pre-40s marble, made here. Okay, I see people on there. Yeah, it sees the corner of your chair. You're one leg off though. On your. Okay. It says judges and other experts have long warned Congress that federal outdated electronic systems are vulnerable to exactly this kind of breach. We can't allow sensitive information to remain exposed to such serious and preventable threats. So I think most people agree with you that the system was a little too old. Just a little floppy. I think that's fine.
The problem is we can't read it. Unless you can read sideways.
No.
All right, we're back.
No, I can't read sideways.
All right. Where's my YouTube people at, man?
The YouTube people just aren't out.
I wonder if it's because we didn't put a description. I didn't put a description today.
That might have been it.
Yeah.
People might not know what's going on.
Yeah. People might not know this is the best legal law news channel that you ever will watch. We are the late night host, kind of like, of your legal news.
Oh yeah, the 2:00 a.m. Driving through middle of Nebraska channel.
Yep. This is where you get your source of all information that is legal.
You want to do the sovereign citizen cussing at the police now?
Yeah. Oh, wait. Before we do that and get kicked off of a live stream, let's go to the Kentucky EMT.
Oh, okay. Mr. Kentucky.
If you're from Kentucky, let me know. Put it in the chat. Let me know you're from Kentucky.
Kentucky paramedic.
We should just start it out like that to begin with.
Take me to jail.
Whoa,
I didn't do that.
Hey, and I'm going to attempt to use my censor button. I wonder if I can do it.
We're not doing that one yet. We're doing the Kentucky EMT right now.
I don't give a what you do.
Oh, that's aggressive. We don't want to watch. We'll hide the ad for the folks. Boom. Look at that. So this is let me get a location for you. This is in Lexington, Kentucky.
But where's he from, Wade?
I would say Rowan County.
Before, we've had this discussion before. I don't know if you've seen any of our YouTube shorts, TikTok shorts. Why doesn't think the English language made it that far west of Kentucky, and we just pronounce everything weird, like Jasmine County. It is Rowan County.
R Rowan. Rowan.
No, it's Rowan. All my Moorhead people know what I'm talking about.
Row is like W, like RAWR.
Yep.
Okay.
So Rowan County is the county seat's Moorhead.
Yeah, you guys got some flair. I'll give you that.
Right now about a Rowan County man facing sex crime charges.
Wow.
Say one of the charges involves a patient he was helping to transport while he was a paramedic.
And we want to warn you that some details in this story may be difficult to hear. Shane Peterman is charged with sodomy in a Fayette County case and rape in a Rowan County case. WKYT's Alyssa Williams sat down with Peterman's ex-wife. It is our top story at 6.
You should be able to trust your paramedics, your firefighters, your police officers.
It's a situation that's shocked communities. Court documents show Shane Peterman.
Whoa, stop. So they went and interviewed his ex-wife.
They went and interviewed his ex-wife, who hates this guy.
What a move by WYMT or WKYT to go out and find this man's ex-wife and interview her.
Yeah, if there's anyone who will stick up for you, it's your ex-wife.
I'm sure she's really concerned.
I mean, look at my man's face here, though.
With second-degree rape in Rowan County this past February. Those documents say the situation happened while he was in a position of authority and the other person was not able to consent.
As soon as I heard and found out about it, I was curious as to why nobody was talking about it.
Kristen Sparks is Peterman's ex-wife. She says they were briefly married in 2021 and that she had her own issues with him.
One thing when we did get married, one of the first things he said to me was, well, now you can't testify against me in court. And so that really alarmed me.
I mean, that's a joke that every husband probably says.
No, did you make that joke?
I haven't, but I'm not like 50 years old and corny. But I feel like every dad in the 90s, no, you can't testify me against me in court. I feel like they all said that.
Okay, you're on team paramedic so far.
Team sodomy. I've been thinking about it. Like, what was he doing then?
Rowan County EMS wouldn't confirm if Peterman worked for them at the time of the alleged incident, but in a video recording from 3 months prior, during last November's fiscal court meeting, Peterman was confirmed as a part-time employee.
It's hereby ordered fiscal court employee Shane Michael Peterman as a part-time paramedic at the Rowan County Ambulance Service pending pre-employment screening and per admin code.
While Peterman was in the Rowan County Detention Center for that case, he was charged with sodomy for a case out of Fayette County. Police say Peterman allegedly assaulted a patient he was helping transport from Ohio to UK Hospital in May of last year. His arrest citation says his DNA was found on the patient, but the results weren't in until June of this year.
Everybody that has ever been affected by him needs justice, not just the two that has been reported, and I thank God that they did report it and that it is coming to light now.
I reached out to Rowan County EMS for comment on this situation. They said they could not speak to an ongoing investigation. Alyssa Williams, WKYT.
And we talked with Peterman's attorney on the phone. He says they look forward to Peterman's day in court. We also reached out to Patriot Emergency Services, but have not heard back.
He couldn't have the most unfortunate name for this charge.
Peterman?
Yeah. Well, understand we have the criminal complaint, right?
We do.
I have not read it, but I'm going to venture a guess. Did it say he was transporting the patient?
Yeah, so we have the criminal complaint from both of them. So let's see which one we're at here.
I'm just going to guess this was someone that was, because it said that what they charged it was someone who can't consent. So it's someone having a really bad medical emergency. Someone that's probably, if they're transporting, most of the time, like sometimes they transport people for like dialysis and stuff like that, older people. Maybe this was someone with a dementia, or maybe it was a drug user. I don't know, but maybe I'm just guessing before we read the criminal complaint. But I just think it's kind of odd just the way they changed it. They charged him as a position, the R word, the person, because they're someone in power, and the person doesn't have the ability to consent. So that's what I'm thinking.
So, trying to go to the second page of the criminal complaint seems difficult to do here.
That's the indictment.
Yeah.
So the criminal complaint will be
This one.
No.
This one.
Yeah.
There we go. Multiple pages.
Yep.
Good job. So
you might want to open it up on your other thing if you can read. I don't know if you can read that. Takes some talent.
I can read it, but it looks like we're kind of frozen here.
Talk. We should have began the TikTok stream like this because we had like 10 people in here, and like they couldn't see anything.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Can the TikTok people see any of this stuff?
No, but we can make it that way. If I bring the other computer, and we have to go live for 2 live streams for at least an hour long. This is our second one. As long as we go on an hour, we can get TikTok Studio next time, and we can put all this stuff up there.
We need to do that next time so they can see what we're talking about. Here's the criminal complaint. It says they were contacted by a nurse at UKER. At this time, it advised Amber Gooden had been previously transported to the hospital for cardiac surgery. So that seems like they were having a heart attack, probably.
Dude, how do you do that to somebody having a heart attack?
I don't know. Upon arrival, she told nursing staff she was sexually assaulted by a paramedic with Patriot Emergency Service during the transport from Ironton, Ohio. I made contact with her on that date. She advised male paramedic put his mouth down there and put his fingers down there. She was referencing to her vagina. Goodwin stated that she was out of it due to medication given to her during transport. Sexual assault kit was conducted on this date and sent to the Central Kentucky Crime Lab. Throughout the investigation, subject was found to have been sexually assaulted. And Eugene Bailey was found to be the driver. And sexual assault kit was completed and reviewed. The examination of his DNA foreign to her was the present. The subject was found to be logged into the Rome County Detention Center on unrelated charges. So that's what got him there. They probably already knew that, though, at that time.
We see that sometimes. Sometimes they will charge someone with something to hold them where they know where they can find them, so that way they can investigate a bigger charge.
They read his Miranda rights to him, and he agreed to speak with the investigating officer. It says he admitted to performing oral sex on the patient.
Oh, my Lord.
And advised it was consensual. In regard to the DNA found from the assault kit,
man, she's having a heart attack.
Search warrant was sought for a DNA swab.
Man,
yeah, I don't think. How could? That's weird. Weird he would admit to that, but I guess he did.
Oh well.
Not much of a defense when you admit to it.
Nope. Well, I mean, go back to that criminal complaint. Did it say that there's video evidence? It should be a box somewhere. Kentucky does video evidence down at the bottom. Be a box that's got a check says video or evidence collected. Should be on the right hand side somewhere.
No check on video.
Well, so how much weight do you give to a confession that's not been recorded?
I don't know,
especially with the way that body cam policies are now. I mean, anytime an officer talks to you, anytime an officer is investigating something or transporting you, executing a search warrant, executing an arrest, they're supposed to have their body cam. Most places, you're supposed to have your body camera turned on, and I know most agencies have body cam now. So that's jury to decide whether that was a real confession.
So was that the sodomy charge for that one?
Yeah, I think he was indicted with rape in the second degree.
Yeah. We'll pull up KSR, this one, and go over the code for the sodomy. And it has to be this part B, because the person who is incapable of consent, but it says is physically helpless. So I guess being under the influence of drugs or having a medical episode would make you physically helpless. And that makes sense.
It does make sense, yeah.
And the other one, the graping case, unrelated, but still doing the same duties, but for the county, it seemed.
Well, most of the time when you see those cases, I think we're froze again. Most of the time when you see the charge for second degree rape for someone who didn't have the ability to otherwise consent, that's most of the time you see those charged with prison guards.
Yeah, you do. The Kanawha County bailiff that recently got a charge. Or you think of the judge down in Lecture County, the previous cases there.
Yeah, and you just and you know that most of the time it may be consensual, and these guards think it's consensual, but as long as you are a person in authority, like a jail guard or a prison guard, and you do something like that, that's going to get you with that charge every time.
Well, it's like being a teacher, right?
Yeah. Are we frozen? Well, I'm here now. Guys, if you can hear us on here, this is the Docket Dodgers. This is your source for legal news. If you have anything that's legal on TikTok that you want to talk about, drop it down. We'll talk about it with you. We've been talking about several things. We've talked about the WVU lawsuit that's going on right now. We'll circle back to that, talk to that a little bit. We know we got more people in this stream, and we'll be on here. How long have we been live streaming?
About 40 minutes.
So we need about 20 more minutes to live stream. I don't care to go back over these things again for our folks on TikTok here. Guys on YouTube, thank you for joining us. Like and subscribe. We're going to finish this stream out on TikTok and talk to some of these guys on here. So till next time, Docket Dodgers, Matt and Wade, we'll see you next time.
See you next time. Now we can talk about the crazy stuff.
Okay, now that people from YouTube are gone, I thought they would never leave. I'm so glad to be here with you guys. Me and Wade are here. You guys got us for the next 25 minutes. So if there's anything that specifically about the law that you guys want to talk about, I'm a criminal defense attorney. Wade is a law student at WVU. He recently got Rule 10 practice license to practice with the Public Defender's Office. And
he framed it.
And you framed it? Okay. Well, he's been with me all summer practicing criminal law. And I'm going to tell you something really big happened this summer, Wade.
Yeah, what was it?
We had a guy that was charged with a situation where he had no bond, and he had a sham preliminary hearing, and mostly Wade, but I'm going to take some credit for it too. Wade and I filed a writ of habeas. And if you guys don't know what a writ of habeas is, a writ is a very extraordinary measure. Most of the time, these things are not granted. Wade argued at a habeas in court, and guess what?
We won.
He's a free man.
He is. He's
a free man. Going from no bond to being a free man, that's a big deal, guys. And if you guys, we'll talk a little bit more about these WVU things that's going on. The NFL sports betting. I don't think we talked a whole lot in depth about the NFL sports betting before, but and the ESPN saga we got going on and the DOJ investigation. But we'll talk about anything you guys want to talk about. If you got anything in the comments you'd like to say, let us know. We got a comment here, Wade.
Yeah.
Woo.
That's right. Docket Dodgers #1 fan, Ric Flair, has joined us live.
I'm so glad you're here, Ric Flair.
We're happy to have you, Nature Boy.
Okay, so Wade, let's talk about this WVU thing again.
Okay.
Basically, what we got, we have some players. Are they football players or basketball players?
These are football players. There are 4 players. At least 3 are for sure projected starters.
Oh, so yeah. So Lord knows they need their help to beat Pitt this year. So
I think we're going to win. I think we're going to win the case.
So I think you're going to win the case too. And this is the reason why, guys, because West Virginia, WVU has turned the heat up. They have thought about a way to really hook the chains to the NCAA. And the way they've decided to hook the chains of the NCAA is a thing that was passed back in the 1880s by Congress called the Sherman Act.
Yeah, it was meant to stop corporations from having so much monopoly power. So think of your Rockefellers, your Vanderbilts, the people who have controlled us for the last 100 years.
Now, so like, I mean, Rockefeller, you got to think about him obviously with the Standard Oil.
Standard Oil. So that was exactly what the Sherman Act was for, is to break up Standard Oil. I think that was their number one number one target.
And then the Vanderbilts, I mean, Commodore Vanderbilt, was he the railroad guy?
Railroad baron. Yeah. Like owned all the railroads.
Yeah, they actually called him the. Do you ever watch on the History Channel the Men Who Made America?
Oh yeah, I'm a fan. I think I've enjoyed
Carnegie.
Yeah, Carnegie. Right, Carnegie. He's a Pittsburgh guy still.
Okay. Carnegie Steel, yeah.
Yeah, and now they do the Carnegie like Institute and do a lot of a lot of those people, when their monopolies were busted, they went into education and they built a lot of grand education institutes.
So like Carnegie Hall, Vanderbilt University.
Yeah, like that kind of stuff.
Vanderbilt University costs like $2 million a year to go to.
Well, unless you're a quarterback and get paid to go there.
But you know, they don't give scholarships out in before they got this thing in baseball, before the COVID rules, they expanded the roster to 40, and now it's back down to 35, but you can give out 35 scholarships now. Some schools don't because it's too expensive, but before that, you could only give out like 11.7 scholarships in baseball at one time.
Really?
Yeah, you can get partial scholarships, you can get half scholarships, or you can get full scholarships. And so what Vanderbilt had to circumvent that rule, they have this thing, if you get enrolled, accepted into Vanderbilt, and you can't afford to pay for your tuition, they have this thing that they would pay for everyone's tuition that couldn't afford it.
Yeah, no, a lot of the Ivy Leagues are like that. And Vanderbilt's the Southern Ivy League.
So that's how a lot of these baseball players got in, like Kumar Rocker went to Vanderbilt.
That's a good deal.
Yeah.
That's a good deal. If you think of like the Harvards, the Yales, I don't think they charge you tuition unless your family makes like $500,000 or something like that.
Right. So how did they make money? How did these big Ivy Leagues make money?
Well, they have a lot of donors, a lot of old money.
Right.
So they own property. So think of Harvard, about the owning the property value of where they're at, the land holdings, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I think they had a bunch of money in slaves too, but I'm not sure.
Well, that's one of the next points. I mean, your Yales and your Harvards have been around since before 1800s. I mean, some of these were in America for a long time, probably even before we were even a country.
I don't know when the high.
Does anyone out there know when Harvard or Yale became a country, or not a country, but became a university? Because I would
say the 1800s. I feel like that was the rise of the university.
Well, if you look at like the University of Kentucky, it first started as Kentucky Agriculture School.
That was WVU. It was a land grant university,
and I think that was in the early the late 1700s, like right after Kentucky became a state.
Well, there's the educational institutes over in England, so like they're big ones. But I'm sure that the rich people that came over here wanted their children. They probably everyone couldn't afford to send their child back to England to have the best education. So I think that would be the start of education here.
I would too. And, education was just for the elites, back in the day.
Yeah.
So not everyone was getting an education.
Well, WU's law school was just in the basement. It was like whoever wanted to show up. I love it because the first class photos, it's like 8 people and one guy's in full imperial Japanese attire.
Oh, I see, the samurai guy.
Yeah, he's really cool. Some of the first law school classes had women, which was unique, and a dog. There was a dog in every class photo at the beginning.
Where's he practicing law at?
He was actually the 32nd governor.
That was baby dog. Little known fact. But anyways, on this WVU lawsuit, they got a federal lawsuit filed. West Virginia does, trying to get these athletes eligible. And a lot of these eligibility rules came out of COVID when everything was so lenient, so laxed.
Yeah, so they didn't have a choice because public pressure would have been so much of like, we canceled the year, but you lose your eligibility. Like people would freak out over it.
Right. Yeah.
But then that was right after the NIL stuff came out, the name, image, and likeness. So they lost that in court.
Yeah, that's the NCAA versus House ruling.
Yeah, and that gave these institutions a little more leverage in fighting the NCAA. The NCAA lost a lot of their power with that. And people wanted eligibility after these COVID years because they didn't think it was applied right to the seniors. People understood, oh, they lost their senior year, let them come back and play. But even the freshmen wanted their COVID year 3 years later. They thought they were entitled to it.
So what do you think about athletes playing in sports? What's your opinion on that?
Athletes playing in sports?
Athletes playing sports.
That's who plays sports.
But I mean, athletes being paid.
They absolutely should be paid.
Okay.
If people are paying to watch it, the people playing should be paid.
Yeah, and not only that, if these big member institutions of the NCAA are making these millions of dollars, I mean, I know that baseball and hockey and all this stuff is not your biggest money makers, but football. I mean, look at Ohio State University.
Well, it's the TV deals.
I'm sorry, the Ohio State.
The Ohio State University. It's the TV deals. That's where the big money comes from, the broadcasting rights. We have to pay to watch these public schools play. It's a public school. The school has the technology to broadcast it for free on the internet. If they wanted to be a nonprofit and do that and not make money from selling their rights to Fox Sports or CBS, then yeah, they would have an argument. But they don't have an argument. They're making hundreds of millions of dollars off of these, people who haven't made $5,000 in their life, like their kids.
It's modern day in servitude.
It is. It's like when you were promised the boat trip from England to the United States if you work on this plantation for so many years.
Yeah.
They're promised if they work for these 4 years, you'll get an education, which moves you up a tier in society. It makes you go from lower class, middle class, to middle class, upper class. It gives you a shot at the American dream, like education. That's what I was told. We're now being told that education doesn't matter, but when I was a child, it was go to college. That's what you're supposed to do.
Well, yeah, and not only that, you go to college. Think about, you go to college to better yourself. You go to college to make yourself, financially secure. That's what they try to sell you.
Yeah.
And now these athletes, since the House ruling, they're making more money than ever before. I mean, I'm sure there were a lot of them making money before, but they were,
Yeah, you watch SEC schools, you know that people got paid money.
Yeah, people got paid. But now it's legal for them to make money. They're able to go out there. They're able to build a brand. I mean, they're on commercials and they're on the internet. They're getting paid sponsorships and they're able to build their brand. I mean, think about the Levy Dunns and the Paul Skeens.
Oh yeah,
think about that brand,
and it's a valuable.
Yeah,
and they knew their value and capitalized on it. They saw it as an opportunity and they took the opportunity, which is what that House rule was about. And then last year 2024, we get the West Virginia versus the NCAA. It was
alleging the same sort of thing as monopoly.
So yeah, because the freshmen during the COVID times wanted their COVID year later on. They wanted that extra year of eligibility because the other people got it. The NCAA didn't want to give it. Our attorney general wanted to win a governor race and suing the NCAA on behalf of WVU in West Virginia.
We'll make everyone in West Virginia love you.
And he won because the NCAA caved because they didn't want to go and lose their monopoly. They caved and gave everyone blanket eligibility, everyone that wanted it. And they just kicked the can down the road, and we're down the road.
Yeah, and this kind of hinges on the fact as your JUCO year is kind of against you for NCAA eligibility. I know you.
Yes.
Normally in NCAA you have 5 years to get to play for.
Yeah, you have 5 years you can play for. You get that red shirt year. You can have more if there was an injury, like a significant injury. You miss so many games, they'll give you another one normally for hardship. And then they gave everyone the COVID year. and now everyone wants the COVID.
Right. And you get run into these situations where you get really older college athletes.
Which is a thing. You have older college athletes, but if you go to college, there's older college students. I'm an older college student.
I was too. I was your age when I graduated law school.
And that's common. That's not, it's not crazy that, yeah, most 70% of people graduate at 22, but that's not everybody. Some people take an extra year, some people switch it up, some people go get a master's degree. That's one of the NCAA marketed it as a proud thing when these players would go and get a master's degree. They would give them a little patch to wear.
The SEC graduates, the Big Ten graduates.
Yeah, they would be like, this is a graduate student. They would honor them. And there's nothing wrong with keeping a kid in school longer to have a more qualified individual out into the world.
Right. But I mean, I agree. I think an athlete should be able to transfer as much as they want to transfer. I think they should build their brand as much as they can build their brand, because we're selling them this idea as if you go to college, it's going to secure your future. But now that, and this is what West Virginia is saying. West Virginia is saying that, you know, the NCAA has a monopoly, and this is the only organization that you are able to make the money. This is the only organization that you can go out and get all this media attention. This is the only organization that matters about the NIL, but we're going to tell you how to do it.
Yeah. So, and that's like enforcing these rules upon JUCO. These players, this issue stems from JUCO. So these players attended junior colleges before going to the NCAA. They want to say that these 2 years at junior college shouldn't count against my 4 years at the NCAA level. And I think that makes perfect sense when you allow European rugby players to come over, you allow Australian punters to come over. These aren't 18-year-olds. These guys have played professional sports just in another country. Think of Brandon Whedon. He was a professional baseball player. It didn't work out. He came back and played at Oklahoma State as a 28-year-old.
All right. So we talk about amateur athletes. So going pro in one sport, you can come back and be an amateur in another sport?
Yeah. I don't think that's ever affected your eligibility. There was a case against it. I believe a Notre Dame safety. He played for the Ravens. He was like a hard-hitting safety. But on the weekends in the offseason, he would like drive down to Pittsburgh and do amateur boxing and beat people up. So he would.
Lynette Tiller, I see you out there. How you doing, Lynette?
So he would amateur box on the weekends, right? Make $500,000, and the NCAA said he was making money from his playing football. And he said, "No, I wasn't. I was beating people up."
So I think that West Virginia has a good case when they say that the NCAA has a monopoly and is violating the Sherman Act. And the reason why the West Virginia is doing this is because they're trying to make the NCAA cave, right?
Yes, they're trying to make the NCAA cave, because if the NCAA tries to fight this, I don't know if you know this, but just about every judge appointed in West Virginia went to WVU.
Well, it's not looking good.
It's hard to get a judge in West Virginia in federal court that wasn't WVU. Probably going to lean towards. The facts are they are a monopoly.
Right.
If you look at them, they're a monopoly.
Yeah, and I don't think it's anything but having a good business model. But still, when you have a monopoly like that, you can't impede other people's financial opportunity.
Yeah, a free market should be a free market.
Right.
And then that goes to Donald Trump wanting to do an executive order to limit how much money they can make on their name, image, and likeness deals.
Absolutely not. And you know, that contradicts everything Donald Trump ran on. And I feel like it contradicts everything Donald Trump stands for in his policies, because I feel like Donald Trump is someone who's a capitalist. He's been a capitalist his whole life.
He's a proud capitalist, and he's a proud sports fan. He's had these NCAA teams come to the White House and they do their dinners, and he has his new position, like a whole cabinet on sports, like these like older athletes. These kids should be able to make as much money. There shouldn't be a cap on how much money you can make in the United States.
Never.
If that's the system we're playing, then some people are in trouble.
Yeah. And so now let's switch gears to this. We've got a similar situation that we have another sports organization trying to take over journalism.
Yeah, yeah, they're trying to take over journalism for sure. That would be the NFL is agreed to sell its media side. So NFL Network, Red Zone, NFL Media, their library of games and photos and recordings, and they're going to sell that all for the ESPN to put under the ESPN model, and just like other organizations have done.
And the main problem with that is what?
A part of the deal, the NFL gets a 10% ownership in ESPN, and ESPN owns a sports book. So ESPN is sports gambling, and now the NFL owns a part in sports gambling and owns a part in a monopoly of sports media. So it will control the narrative and the odds.
It's not a good look.
It's not. Roger Goodell actually spoke about this in a 2012 deposition. He said that sports gambling posed a threat to the integrity of professional football. He believed that legalized sports gambling would lead to speculation, distrust, and accusations of point shaving or game fixing.
Well, it seems like his position is pretty clear.
It seems like his position drastically changed.
It has. And what made it do that, Wade? Why did his position change?
It would have to be the money.
Yeah.
If you think about who's owning some of the new NFL teams, they really want to get in on this gaming. Gambling has reached record profits ever since 2018 when the Supreme Court ruled that sports gaming was completely fine.
Unless you're in Washington and D.C.
Unless you're in Washington, D.C., which is about to be federalized. I don't know if you saw that.
No, I didn't. What is it?
A DOJ employee, like Department of Governmental Efficiency employee, was beat up by some teenagers in Washington, D.C., like a group of 14, 15-year-olds.
Scram, we don't want you around here, man.
Well, now they're saying D.C.'s out of control, crime is rampant, and they have to federalize D.C. and take it over. But, like, if you get beat up by a couple 14, 15-year-olds, that's probably on you. I don't know.
Well, they say a lot of these DOJ employees are younger.
They are.
Kids.
He was like a 20-year-old,
right? And
he got beat up by like a group of 5 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds.
Is that a hate crime?
There is racial aspects to it. There are racial aspects. I believe it was a group of black teenagers in DC.
Yeah. Well, if you guys don't know about the Queen Anne statue, we talked about this a couple of Docket Dodgers ago. And this is kind of interesting case from out of the federal district of Washington, D.C., that these group of attorneys, I mean, they're just out here doing the Lord's work, suing on behalf of people who have betted at sports gambling, because there's an old archaic statute that exists before the colonies became a country. It was called the Queen Anne statute. And it said that if someone bets over 20, you're not allowed to bet over $20, but if you bet over $20 and you lose, you can sue that person to recover your money, or someone can sue on your behalf if after a certain time has passed and you've not sued, and they can get triple the money back. Hang on, we got to fix the live stream.
Yeah, getting triple money back for losing a bet is a good payout. You just got to get the puzzle piece into the puzzle. Steady. Steady. There you go. Drop it.
We're back, baby.
So triple damages for any gambling losses. And I would say there's probably millions of losses coming out of DC. It's a pretty large city.
I would say too. I said this. I think me and you, we added it up because I used to be a math teacher and I couldn't figure out what 3 times 3 was.
Yeah,
but it was. They estimated somewhere around $300 million of bets have went on in Washington D.C. in the past. Like I forget what it was.
Only a couple of years.
Yeah, past couple of years, $300 million worth of bets. And that this group of attorneys, when they were suing, they were going to be able to get these triple damages. So it's 3 times $300 million. And I think with my quick math skills, I figured that it was $900 million.
It is $900 million.
Okay.
I don't know if you got that that quickly last time.
I carried the one this time.
I think the viewers should go check out the last video and see if it was that quick.
So, like I used to tell people, I used to be a math teacher, and I guess they sent me to law school because I was no good at it.
Well, I was also a math teacher that went to law school, so don't feel bad.
Yeah, people really know what they're getting with the Docket Dodgers.
They do. Bad math.
We also have the well, I don't want to switch gears from this. I feel like Pacer is a little bit boring, and our people out there don't know what Pacer is. It just knows a really archaic website was hacked.
Oh, if you're on the if you're a confidential witness in a federal case, the Russian mob knows where you live now.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Pacer was hacked. Let's just go ahead and go into it. Pacer was hacked. What Pacer is a federal e-filing system for all court documents in the United States. All federal e-filing goes through Pacer, and it was hacked by they suspect to be a state actor. So what that means is like a Russia, a China.
North Korea is really good at hacking stuff. Apparently,
North Korea.
Yeah, they apparently have whole warehouses full of hackers out there.
I just think that's fake.
I'm just telling you what they're saying they do.
You know what it reminds
They
me
took
of?
down Sony. You know that, right?
I know.
They hacked. After the interview came out, they hacked Sony and took Sony. PlayStation Network was down for a month.
Anytime I think about North Korea, I think about Kim Jong-un, the guy on the TikTok that used to make fun of Kim Jong, had his little red button.
Okay,
and he would just go around and go like this here all the time with the red buttons. And when he get embarrassed, he'd go.
Could have been him. It was probably Russia or China.
I would say it was Russia, China, or there's another one they're real close. Not Poland, not Ukraine. I don't know.
Those are all the big ones.
Yeah. So they hacked it, and what's significant about them hacking it when you talk about collecting big debts through the federal system, some of this got people's social security numbers and birth dates on it.
Yeah, it's going to have social security numbers, birth dates, where they live, addresses of family.
And not only that, we were talking earlier about the confidential informants, all the sealed documents.
It's going to have all the sealed documents. It's going to have witnesses, victims, the names of who they switched their identities to.
Right. How long have we been streaming? You're still streaming on YouTube. How long have we been on there?
Hour and 7 minutes.
Hour and 7 minutes. Okay, well.
Yeah.
So, how many we got in here right now?
I don't know. I don't know how to read sideways.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining the Docket Dodgers. If you can, give us a like, give us a share, leave us a comment. Join our YouTube channel. Follow the Facebook or the TikTok page here. We're going to try to go live more often, especially when Wade goes back to law school. Wade, you go back to law school next week, and I think this will be a whole lot easier whenever you go there because we'll be able to do it remotely.
Yeah, I think it'll work out really well. You'll do your TikTok from here. I'll do the YouTube from there.
All right, sounds good. All right, guys. Till next time, this is Docket Dodgers. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye.